what's good? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is the first segment of Coffee Talks, sponsored by Starbucks from Aldrin John. Can y'all sing that? Aldrin is a great friend of mine. No, Aldrin is a dear friend of mine. He is my church friend. He is my IT friend. Yeah, so he offered to get me a drink. Got me a venti caramel iced caramel macchiato. That is my drink, and I truly miss it. Let's get on to the video. For today's coffee talks, we're going to talk all about time management. Yay! I don't have that. I asked people to ask me questions about what they want to hear during these coffee talks. So, let's read it. I have to put on my glasses because, again, I can't see. So the questions for today's video, one of my girls, I met her in my molecular bio lab. So my friends and I were supposed to take a lab together. It was supposed to be either molecular bio or biochem, and girl, you know, if you was in science, we ain't taking biochem. So we went with molecular bio, and unfortunately I wasn't able to make it in the same lab as them, so I was alone in my lab. I was alone. Made a friend in that lab. We're both alone, so she kindly came up to me and asked me if I had a partner. I was like, oh girl, I don't. You want to be a partner? She's like, yeah. I was like, yay. So Z, girl, if you know, you know. I couldn't have asked for a better partner in molecular bio, so thank you. She asked, what did she ask? Time management as a student. So, your girl's still an undergrad. I've been a student for so long, I still don't know. So we'll try to figure that out today. I also got another question related to time management as a student from Van. She asked how to find balance in all aspects of life, from school, work, ministry, relationships, and Jesus. Okay, so we'll get to that. To be honest, I don't really know how this video is gonna go out. I'm just talking to you guys, talking to a camera with my coffee. Comment down below what kind of coffee you take. A lot of my friends like black coffee. She's just too strong for me, you know, like she's kind of bitter. I like my coffee sweet. I need to watch my sugar intake because, you know, like, if you know, you know. Honestly, hope the glasses don't bother you guys, but you know, it just helps me think better, because if my vision is clear, my mind will also be clear. Maybe. I'm just gonna give you guys, you know, my experiences in life. I am a 23-year-old individual. I'm 23 and I'm still trying to figure out my life. If you know, you know. Currently an undergraduate student. I'm studying biology. For all my science friends, if y'all know the amount of workload we get, the amount of quizzes, tests, midterms, no breaks, all the mental breakdowns at night, all the nights we have not slept. I would sleep for 3 hours a night. My day would start at 8 a.m. So that means I would have to wake up at 6 a.m. to get ready for school. If you guys commute in Toronto, y'all know TTC, y'all know what's up. That's another video, but again, if you know, you know. In my first years of undergraduate, most of my days would start at 8 a.m. and I would end class at 6 p.m. And then obviously, you know, I just want to chill for a bit. I want to relax with my friends, get something to eat, and then I would travel back home. My commute's not that bad. It's an hour long. Seems like a long time, but in Toronto, it's really not. Like, time just passes by when you're on the TTC sometimes. I like to download a lot of Netflix stuff for just listen to music and sleep, because y'all know I don't really get sleep. When you get home, like, you just want to relax a bit more because your entire day was just at school, and you start work late if you're a procrastinator like myself. As a science major, you don't really get a lot of time. You really have to be dedicated to school. In my lower years of undergraduate as a bio major, it was just so packed with tutorials, with 3-hour lectures. Sometimes those lectures are split up with 2-hour and 1-hour lectures. So obviously my classes are more spread out throughout the week. I had a lot of labs. In my first year, I took the full course load, so we had 5 courses. Y'all, it was literally the most exhausting thing of my life. Like, literally each night I could not sleep. I would kill time by, you know, going on Netflix, you know, and just like fooling around. But then when it got to work, I was like, oh man, like I played myself. I've learned the importance of of disciplining yourself when it comes to your work ethic, because science ain't no joke. If you are considering of going to science, if you're considering of being a pre-med student, this is a whole other video for that, but I mean, so as a student, there's so much you have to do. I think I really learned to manage my time probably my upper years of university. Your girl still struggles with that because pre-med. By no means am I belittling any other course, okay? I'm not saying because I'm a science major, any other course doesn't take up a lot of work. Of course it does, right? But like for me as a science student, I just, wow. I did not know what I was signing myself up for, you know what I'm saying? So aside from school stuff, I also worked as a student. I think I started working in my second year of university. Sometimes OSAP is not enough to cover your funds, so your girl gotta work. For me as an undergraduate student, my parents were paying for the bills and stuff, and I didn't really want to ask for money for my own personal expenses, especially now that I was, you know, considered an adult. I got a job. It was a fast food restaurant. It was my first job and I stayed there for like a year and a half almost. Working a part-time job as a full-time student, you know, it's not the greatest time, to be honest. There were days where I would have a morning class. Oh my gosh, I just remembered. I would have a morning class, and then for my job I also had a uniform, so I had to carry an additional bag. And after my class I would, you know, have the luxury of an hour to eat breakfast, and then I would go straight to work. Depending on how busy the day was, that's how my schedule worked. Sometimes I would get cut, sometimes I would stay longer, you know? You gotta meet the needs of the business. But that was that. If you guys know, working a job, specifically in food, people are just mean. But I didn't get that many mean customers, so thank God. Thank you, Jesus. For me, I was a full-time student. I had school every day. I literally had no days of break until probably my upper years. They were more flexible with the times, whereas like in your lower years in university, they're very constricted. My schedule literally was based off of my school schedule. That's my season. I'm a student right now. When I got the luxury of getting some days off for school, that's when I would book work. You know, work is just really tiring in general because you're dealing with people. For me, I really care about my work, whether or not it was at a fast food restaurant or if I'm working in retail. You know, you're dealing with people. It's your job. No matter what it is, you got to do well in your job. That's the reason why your employer hired you. Even if there were days I just did not want to deal with anyone, I had to suck it up and, you know, deal with it. And I had to, you know, just put a smile on my face and just deal with customers because, you know, I'm getting paid for this. So if I'm getting paid for it, I'm gonna do the best that I can, you know what I'm saying? So I got my school schedule, and then I got my work schedule, which was based off of my school schedule. And then for me, I'm also active in my local church. I am a youth leader at my church. Ministry was based off my school and based off of my work. I would have youth group on Fridays, and then Saturday would be like a music practice thing, and then Sunday would be our church service. To be honest, there are many times where ministry was just a lot, you know. For me as a student, I was like, man, like where am I going? Like, what am I doing right now? Like, I have so much to do for school, but then my ministry, where God is calling me, is so important to me. You know, I thank God for his grace, for you know, giving me wisdom in how to deal with those things. I am not the most organized person. If I have a deadline, I would try to write it down, but then I would mostly forget about it. But like, that deadline is implanted in my head. I know when I have something due, when it's important. There have been days where I would have assignments due and I didn't realize, so I would literally work on it last minute and hand it in. Don't do that. There are many methods to try to keep organized. For me to try to be organized, I bought many planners. In high school, they really helped me. Honestly, I loved writing in my high school planner. I thought it was the most effective way to know what I have due the next day. The day that I was assigned something and the day it was due, they were in close proximity to each other. Whereas in university, you know, they give you a syllabus at the beginning of the year, and you have all your dates due. You have all the dates of your exams, you have all the dates of assignments, lab stuff. You know, you guys know me, planners just did not work. They would inspire me at the beginning of the year, and I would be like, yeah, let's get down to business, let's do this. I just stopped writing in it after 2 weeks because they were cute. Like this one, I think most of these are from Indigo, to be honest. It looks like this. Nothing's really written. This is also from Indigo. Oh, this is a cute one too. Look at that. I did not use this at all. Oh my gosh, look at that. This one was really cute. I thought it was like really like quirky. I don't know. Oh, there's, you can see some writing in there. Where is it? Nope. Did I use this at all? I mean, there's that section of writing. Oh guys, I also got this planner. I thought it was really cute. Honestly, so this is called Sarah Scribbles, and I saw Sarah Scribbles I think on Twitter, and she was just so funny. I love that. I did not use this at all either. I just thought it was really funny. Do you guys see where my money goes? Like, I don't even use these things. I thought this was a really good planner. Passion planner. It is so artsy. Look at that. What I like about this planner is that it gave you like an assortment, like a timetable. If you're that kind of individual that likes to plan when you're gonna do something at a certain time, you know, I feel like this planner would be great. There would be days where I would say to myself, okay, this is what you're gonna do for today. You're gonna study this subject for this long. The next course, you're gonna study this much, blah, blah, blah. I would not get half of those done because I didn't realize how much work or how much I was putting in a day to study. It's the thought that counts. It's the intention of like wanting to be productive with my time. Cheers. Tip number 1. What's my tip? Be organized. My first tip in time management as a student is 1, be organized. Whatever it takes. If you guys want to buy planners, do that. So because most of my school stuff is online, I use my computer a lot. I like to do now is to use the actual calendar app. A lot of people like to use Google Calendar. For me, I just use the regular calendar that's on my laptop. What I do at the beginning of the year is when I get my syllabus, I look through the dates and then I make sure I copy all of those into the calendar, and then I also color code it. So I would write whether it's an exam, whether it's an assignment due, whether it's a quiz. I would write that down my calendar so I know that this is what I have to do, because I always open my calendar to make sure you know, I'm doing what I need to do. I forgot to mention one part in terms of how I stay organized. If you guys have this app on your laptop or computer, it's the Sticky Notes app. Okay, yeah, so the Sticky Notes app, I would make sure that I would have a certain amount of sticky. So however many courses I'm taking this semester, like for example, if I'm taking 4 courses, I would have 4 different sticky notes color-coded for each course. I would type the important dates such as midterms, exams, or big assignments, and then underneath that I would also have a checklist of what I should be doing throughout the, whether it's reading my textbook, going through my notes, making notes, you know, all those things. And so yeah, honestly, the Sticky Notes app has saved my life. Shout out to Hannah for showing me that feature, because like I said, I don't really know technology. I didn't even know that the computer had sticky notes. It's important to be organized, because honestly, if you don't know what you have due, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how your month is gonna go, if your week is gonna go, oh, you're gonna be a mess. Yeah, so if you're a full-time student and you're working part-time, or if you're a full-time student and you are a full-time worker, I salute you, I respect you, because I could never. Honestly, being a working student is probably one of the most challenging things that you can ever experience. You know, that season of my life, I worked as well as being a student, because it just taught me to actually split up my time wisely. Because if I know that I have something due, and I know I also have a shift for my job, I make sure that my schoolwork is done, so that when I'm at work, I'm not thinking about it, I'm not giving excuses to my boss. So don't get me wrong, there have definitely been days where I've been so stressed that I wasn't able to finish an assignment on time. So when I was at work during my breaks, my 30-minute breaks, I would literally have to cram in everything. I would have to cram in so much just to finish an assignment so that I could hand it in before 11:59 at night. If y'all know those ones, you know there are situations in life where you have to work a job to be able to provide for yourself, your family. It's not easy. I feel like your work schedule is so dependent on your school schedule. This is a tip. If you guys are working in a place that you absolutely hate because you think that you can't find a job, or no one's hiring right now, there's gonna be a job out there for you. A job where you thoroughly enjoy it. There's going to be a job where you get along with people, and I'm not saying you have to get along with everybody, because that's not really realistic. I'm sorry guys, I'm literally just talking from a camera in terms of my experience. I myself am learning these things still. I literally watch YouTube videos as to how people manage their time, because I really don't know how they do it. Being a full-time student and having a part-time job or full-time job is already hectic, and to add ministry on top of that for all my church friends, y'all know the struggle. I don't want to take up too much of your time, guys, but the day that I met God, I told God that I would do anything. You know, I would do anything to serve you, God. I don't know why this is. Me and my group of friends who are students and also served in the church, for some reason, all these church events that would happen throughout the entire weekend would also correlate with midterm season or final season. So, you know, preparation took for an event. I don't want to say clash, but, you know, it was very close relation with my school schedule. So it was very hard to find the time to balance. I guess for me, because my thing was being a student, everything that I did was based off of my school schedule. So again, I have my set school schedule, so my work schedule was based off of that, and then my ministry life was based off of my work and school schedule. It was a very hard time. I don't know about you, but I am a procrastinator. I think it's because I have this insecurity. I don't do the best in it. I can blame it on my procrastination. It says here, someone tweeted this actually. I don't know who needs to hear it, but procrastination is a form of psychological insecurity where you don't want to give something your best shot in case you don't think it's great. So comfort yourself by rushing it last minute, forcing you to then say it's not your best work. The most important thing of how to balance all these things, I think, and I've learned the hardest way, is to make sure that you make time for Jesus. Whether it's in your devotion time, whether it's, you know, taking a time to just talk to God, to read your Bible, to even worship, listen to worship songs. I know those ones where if we're heartbroken, we listen to sad songs to make us feel even more sad, and then we just you know, we're just like very sad in life. Or, you know, taking time to go to church and, you know, to hang out with God's people. What I've learned in my walk of life, all the things that we have to do and all the responsibilities, whether we are a student, whether we are working, whether we are doing things for the ministry, you know, those things can tire us out, definitely. But one thing that I am so assured of is the strength I find in Jesus. I just want to make time for God. No, but in all seriousness, like the moments where I find myself just, you know, being with God and allowing myself just to be so transparent with Him, telling Him what's up, telling Him the things I'm going through, it gives me such a clear vision of how to handle things. It gives me so much peace in my responsibilities and how much I have to get done. So in order for your life to seem, you know, a bit smoother, whether you are a student, a worker, working in the ministry, make sure that everything flows from Jesus. You can find peace in the storm. You can find rest in who He is. Seriously though, there have been so many days and nights where I was just so burnt out. I was so tired. I was so done with my life. But, you know, those days I make sure that I go to Jesus even more, because I love this verse. It's one of my favorite verses. It's in Psalm 18:1. It simply says, "I love you, Lord, my strength." To just say that is such a short statement, but there is so much power to it. If you got anything out of that, be organized, know your priorities, and also make sure that you have time for God. Yeah, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are doing well during this quarantine. If you're in an area where your quarantine has now been lifted off and the government is now easier on you guys, congratulations. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the first coffee talk segment for this channel. If you guys have any suggestions of what I can talk about next or what you would like to hear next, just comment down below. If you guys like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a blessed day, and cheers.